Good morning, good morning, good morning. So we were planning on ramming yesterday, but it was supposed to rain like a teeny tiny bit. So we got out here, we got all ready to ram, and then it just kept raining and kept raining and kept raining. What was supposed to be, I think, 0.3 an inch ended up being closer to like 2 or 3 inches of rain. So we ended up not mixing for the day because we can't control the moisture in the sand and gravel when it's raining that hard, and it was already too wet to be able to make rammed earth. And so we went to call it for the day, but I noticed we actually had standing water in our form. We had about an inch of standing water in puddles. And after talking with Sirewall, they were like, no, you got to get the water out and get it covered because the rammed earth was so new. But we vacuumed the forms out. We got all the water out as much as we could. And then we actually put a cover over the top in order to prevent more water from coming down.
You can see that tarp up there.
Yeah. Part of the biggest issue was that we also, where it was pooling the most was right underneath the hopper, because the hopper was basically funneling water down into one spot. So once we got a cover on it, we stopped any more extra water from coming in. After talking with Sirewall, they basically said, check it in the morning with a claw hammer and just basically hit it and see if it crumbles and if it comes away. And if it does, dig out as much as you can and then just re-ram. So dig down to where it gets hard again. But after getting here this morning and taking a claw hammer to this, there's about maybe a millimeter or two of rammed earth that needs to come off the surface. So we're scratching the surface and we're tearing it up, and then we're going to vacuum it all up. And then there's one little section that stayed wet. I think there was water leaking down from the tarp into one little section that I can dig down about 2 or 3 centimeters. And we're basically going to do that, dig it out, get it all clean to where we're back down to hard rammed earth, and then we're just going to start ramming. I can't stress enough how a mix design helped this, because if we had had any weaker walls or any weaker of a mix design, this would have just ruined this whole layer, and we would have had to dig down, I don't know, a few inches, if not the entire lift, dig it out. But because we worked with Sirewall, this is a massive plug for Sirewall, and we are not sponsored by them. We're not paid by them to say this. This has just been our experience. Did what it was supposed to do. So massive plug for them. If you are interested in taking rammed earth, I know we've had a lot of people asking if we're going to teach a course or how they can learn this. Go talk to them. I am not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. You see all the mistakes we make. I'm just kind of doing this based off of their guidance. So if you get an opportunity to take a course with them, please jump on that opportunity. If you're planning on doing anything higher than maybe a foot or two off the ground, if you're planning on building anything that is structural, definitely go and take a course from them, talk to them, reach out to them, work with them, because they're the only company I've seen that produces a product this high strength, and that is strictly because of the mix design. They spent a few months with us actually finding the right material, the right ratios, the right everything to get it to where this mixture is this hard. So yeah, definitely go check them out. I'll say link in the description below to SirewallUSA.com. Yeah, again, not sponsored, not paid. They did not tell me to say this at all. In fact, I paid for my course, full price, all of this, and they're just an amazing company to work with. So what we're going to do now is basically finish chiseling. We're going to scratch all this off. You can see how hard it is. So like, for example, right here, see how that's loose? We pull back the looseness, and then we chisel down until it gets really, really hard. See that? And that's me taking a claw hammer to it as hard as I can. It is almost as strong as concrete right now, and it'll only get stronger as it dries and cures. So what we're going to do is chisel out as much as we can, get rid of all the loose material, vacuum it out, and then prep for the next layer of rammed earth, and we're going to keep going. So yeah, that's our project for this morning, and then we'll get to ramming. Yep, here we go.
All right. Ricky is headed up to take the tarp off.
Ooh, it's slippery up here.
Careful. We need to
Points of contact.
re-chalk our lines. And I think we're ready to go.
I'm gonna hook up the rammer, and then I think we can do our first lift. We've got one lift to do, then we need to do rebar, and then we'll do one lift, and then rebar, foam, and form, and then another lift, and that'll probably bring us to lunchtime, and we'll go get an alternator and hydraulic oil. Yeah.
That's properly wet sand.
Yeah, I don't know that we're going to need much water. Ricky's climbing up. Color and admix are ready to go in.
The mixture's already starting to come together and be moist enough, damp enough, whatever you want to say. I haven't even added water. So without water, we're already at rammed earth. That's it's gonna be an interesting day.
All right, the first lift is in. Ricky's doing chamfers back there in the corner.
We can do a lift or two and then do the steel.
The steel on the far side for the doorway.
Yeah, although it'll help hold the foam in place where it needs to be.
We're already, like, stuff is shut down right now, so now is probably the easier
Yeah,
time to do it.
now's a better time, you're right.
What are we,
Well, one of the many things that happened this morning was we sprung a leak on one of our hydraulic connections, and while over here, happened to notice that the wire was getting pinched, and
all the shielding is gone.
yeah, and most of the leads in it are broke, so I figured while we have a few minutes, might as well cut that out and fix it up and reroute it so it doesn't happen again, because
You know. All right.
I think that's the right thing to do. I hear
I agree.
that's correct, but we'll see.
All right. Thank you, Luke.
Anytime.
All right, that foam's in. We're ready for the this.
Time for the end.
So the rammer's gonna have to be serviced at lunch too, and possibly the Peterbone.
Well, Luke is fixing the wiring that got crimped as well as the leak on
Where is he?
the front hydraulic.
Tape off of the form?
What's that?
Is the tape off the
Yes,
top?
the tape is off the form. I know it's a tight fit.
It's getting tighter.
I'm gonna lift up straight and then push toward me.
Yep.
Nice and flush.
Give me a small bump on this side. A little bit. Right there.
All right, Ricky's putting the foam in. He's gonna get that in the right spot. And then Luke's calling to find out about a part for the Pettibone to stop a fuel leak.
Very graceful.
and then we should be back up and running.
All right. Let's get one more lift in and then break for lunch because it's already 12:10. So yeah, if we can do one more lift, break for lunch, then we could probably finish out this whole section today, and then maybe get another end cap in and ram up a little bit further. If we can do that, I think the three of us might be able to do it on Friday.
So what's our lunchtime to-do list of like a million things?
Let's see, we got an alternator, we got a hydraulic leak, we got a fuel lift pump, hydraulic oil, we need to refill the pedibone. Oh, service one of the rammers.
I need a new battery for the scale.
A battery for the scale. Shoot, what else are we gonna add to this list? Let's get into the double digits, right?
All right, all the projects are happening.
Yeah, all of them at once.
So Ricky's doing the alternator. TJ is doing hydraulic fluid.
Luke is replacing the fuel pump, I guess, on the Peterbilt.
The lift pump for the fuel.
Lift pump. One of those pumps.
All the things.
One of those pumps. All right, everything's done. We're getting back at it. Let's go.
All right, we're cranking right along.
One lift at a time.
All right, this is lift number 9. Whoa. Can you grab that right there? Thank you, sir. All right, it's a no color lift.
No color? All right.
All right, I'm gonna bump it, and then I'm gonna film what you just figured out with the cement. Did it work?
Sounds good. It seemed to work pretty well last time, so. Clean grate. So one of the issues that we've been having when we put the cement in is the grate gets covered in cement, and as soon as we put water on, it all sticks and it builds up. You can see on areas like this, it's all built up, and we're losing cement that way. So if we're adding it with the grate up, then we can mix it in, get a more even mix. We aren't having to stop to scrape it off and scrape it out from under the ledge here, because that takes time. And
We want to move.
we gotta move, yeah. Less time per lift, better.
All right, it's time for foam. And then a form piece.
Yeah, last lift, all right. Last lift of the day.
Woohoo! Last lift!
All right, all we have left to do is to hand tamp our final layer, which y'all have seen before, so I think we're gonna call it for today. Thanks for joining our adventure.